Alright, welcome back to the second Christchurch United radio show with Daniel Main and Alistair McClay. So much has happened in the last month, so let's get straight into the action. Alright, so we've actually had lots of great feedback from the last radio show, which is super promising because we're going to have one every month here on Plains FM and on Spotify and YouTube as well.
Yeah, and obviously we want to be really professional here, right? You know, we're representing a really great club. We love being on Plains FM, and we just want to be just really good and really kind of straight to the point. So I think we've come up with a bit of a competition between us in this section. So I reckon let's try to say no ums. I know it's going to be hard, but I reckon every time we say an we can almost like pick it up. So let's try it, Daniel. You keen?
Yeah, I think we've already failed, but that's all good.
Yeah, that's okay. We'll have those as practice runs. So what's been happening?
Well, one of the exciting things that's happened is the senior men's has started their season. Actually kicked off with a good 3-0 win against Green Island in the first match day of the season.
It's great to have our first home game as well, right? It's been a long time since the National League ended last year. And also it was really good to have our Southern League back as well. Of course, we won it last year as well. So we're trying to keep the title to ourselves. And Paul has grafted a really good team. We've had a few players that have left, which happens in football, of course. But he's done some really good work on some new signings as well. And we saw some of those make their debut against Green Island. Some of them are two Irish lads. One of them is O'Driscoll, who has come over from Ireland, along with Stotes as well. And I think they're going to bring some really good quality to the team that we may have missed with players leaving. So two Irish lads have come in and they've made their debut. Unfortunately, O'Driscoll did get sent off, which is a bit of a sore point, but he had the passion to get in there, so it's really good. We've also got Sam Phillip as well. He's come over from America, so good to have another player with US quality and also experience. And we've also got Cameron Lindsay as well. Big signing coming from Wellington Olympic, was his last league club. He's also played for Wellington Phoenix as well back in his past. So some great experience coming down from the North Island. Also got Harris Zeb, who had a great debut against Green Island. And then Abdul Kafler as well, who was previous with Auckland City. So 5 huge signings, and we're looking forward to seeing them as the season grows and them getting stuck into the Southern League.
Yeah, and apart from the older guys that have come in, it's also exciting to see a lot of young guys in the first team squad as well. Mac is now in the first team squad as well, and he scored 2 goals in the pre-season matches against FC 2011, so that's really exciting as well.
Yeah, it's also one of our mottos is to have those youth coming up into the first team, and I feel like that's going to happen a lot this year, and more so than other seasons. And of course, even from a youth stroke senior point of view, Scott Morris, we mentioned in our last radio show that he got called up to the New Zealand Under-23s camp, which is great news for the club and great news for Scott as well. So Scott's our goalkeeper, but actually he's had the camp now. I believe that even one of the training sessions, the under-23s were training with the senior international team. So great experience for Scott. Of course, they played 2 games against China and did very well. I don't think Scott came on in the end, but he's got the experience of the camp, and we're really looking forward to seeing if Scott will be included in future squads. I believe the Olympic qualifying squad will be under-23s for New Zealand this year. So good luck with Scott to have a good season at Christchurch United, and hopefully that brings him some more call-ups.
Yeah, and moving on from the men's first team to the women's first team, it's super exciting that they're starting their season as well now. And seeing as we won the CWCL last year, it's good to be in the NPL this year and even playing against the more Southern League teams as well.
Yeah, it's great to have representation from the female space. Like I said, we had a good season last year. Every season's a new season, and we've got really good, exciting news that actually we've, as Christchurch United, have partnered with Hallswell United on the west side of Christchurch, which is huge when 2 clubs get together from a community point of view, from a resource point of view, but also sharing players as well. So yeah, that was announced at the end of March, where from just purely from the women's space to begin with, both clubs will be working really closely in sharing resources, sharing the fields, sharing coaches, and also just having that kind of player pathway that will actually make it really easy for the females in our side of the game. So really exciting. I think that will actually become bigger as the season and seasons go on.
Yeah, and moving on from the women's now into the academy space, where the under-20s have also started their season, and soon to be the 17s, the 15s, the rest of our academy teams and our pre-academy teams as well, which is it's just going to be another good season for all of our academy teams to develop again.
It's quite amazing, that we have waited all of the term to get to this point. And we started training, 30th of January, I think it was, which seems like a long time ago now. And now we're starting to see the fixtures come along, and it's really exciting. One, where we form the squads, which has happened over the last 10 weeks through our entire academy. 2, you get to see the fixtures get announced. And then 3, you start with the openers. So yeah, very exciting to see both those fixtures come through. But even more exciting, especially from the under-20s and even from a club point of view, that we can announce a new member of our technical staff as well. So Paul Hollisher has joined us all the way from Houston, and Houston Dynamo being his last club, which is an amazing club in MLS in America. But Paul brings just years and years of experience in through youth, player development, but most notably kind of that player and coaching methodology as well. He's also very much in tune with the Tovo way of doing things. And so he's come along. He's going to be our head of coaching and methodology, and also head coach under 23s at the same time. He's been here for a couple of weeks now, and he's already we're already seeing a change of movement, I suppose, in that youth and junior space. So I'm very excited to announce that Paul is officially with us, and he brings, like I said, all that experience from years being in America, years working with the junior and youth, and it'll be interesting to see what happens in that space from our program's point of view, but also just with the coaching at the same time as well. So very excited to see Paul part of our team.
Yeah, I think it's a really exciting time if you're a player at Christchurch United, all the way from the under-4s to the under-20s in that academy space, because everyone's going to benefit from the experience that he brings on.
Totally, yeah. And I've already seen him every night I see him out on the pitch. He's not shy to come along, and he's with under 4s and 8s one night, then he could be with our technification another night, and then under 20s one night. And so it's great that someone with Paul's skills, that he can actually work with all the age groups. And then you're right, every player sees that standard all the way through. And it's not just our players, I suppose, it's our coaching as well. And we always want to upskill our own coaches. And so our coaches learn from someone like Paul, who can then bring it back onto the field as well. So yeah, very exciting times for all the moment.
Yeah, it's definitely the place to be if you're an ambitious coach and looking to upskill your coaching ability as well.
It's very true.
Not only for the players, but now with Paul on board for the coaches.
It's very true. Yeah, there's lots of really good workshops that go on here, lots of sharing of ideas and knowledge. And then now the season has started, that's when coaches can go and watch other coaches' games, gather feedback, ask for feedback, and it's that kind of ecosystem that's great to this club. So yeah, really, really cool, and it's good to have more people like Paul on board. We also had our Steve Sumner Cup, our inaugural one, in fact, back in March, which again feels like a long time ago, but that was a really good pre-season for our men's first team, our women's first team, also our under-20s and under-17s as well. But it was just such a great day. It was such a good event. We had lots of people turn up. It was a really good 4 games of football. We saw from both Christchurch United and Kashmir Technical, but also, and more importantly, it was just a really good awareness for, one, Steve Sumner's life, and also the Prostate Cancer Foundation that we had much advertising around the event. And it was a really sweet moment when Christchurch United won the trophy. Probably should have mentioned that at the beginning, that Christchurch United won the Shield in that first year. But we had Steve Sumner's grandkids actually give the trophy to the captain, and it was just a really good way of, I suppose, closing the loop on the day, that not only we saw some great football, everyone enjoyed the weather, the event, but also we managed to have Steve Sumner's family here and enjoy it as well. So it was a great event all, and we're looking forward to version 2 next year and start planning for that very soon.
Yeah, it's going to be really exciting to see what we can do next year with a bit more time to plan it out and make it even bigger event.
Yeah, totally. Yeah, I think even having more clubs involved, more players, and like I said, football is there, but really kind of celebrating what Steve's done, I think is certainly the main point of that cup.
Yeah, totally agree. And we've actually just had our summer social leagues finish just this week. And yeah, we have had winners for the 7-a-side and the 5-a-side. You can see the photos up on our social media pages. And now we're really, really excited to announce our new leagues for term 2. That's right. Starting on the new mini pitches on the 10th of April, actually.
I am so excited to see those go up. Every time I come to work, I just see some more things being built on the pitch. The grass was laid, the goals have gone up. It's quite a structure, and I think it's so well placed on the car park that everyone sees it. So when you're playing on there, you get a lot of audience watching and seeing. It's going to be really, really good. So I'm looking forward to seeing those leagues start. And I think that point we get to see even more football be played at United Sports Centre, which is great. Great for the community and great for our players and for our social leagues as well. It just gives another kind of dimension of playing football. So of course, term 1 is finished. And like I said, it's been a great 10 weeks. We're in the Easter holidays now. And so from next week, we start our Easter programs. So football never stops here at United Sports Centre. It just continues all year round. So we've got 2 Easter camps. One we call the Fundamentals Camp. And that is really aimed at our under 4s to under 8s. And that is running for 7 days over Easter. That's from 9 a.m. To 12 p.m. And we've got some really fun coaches. It's a really great way that if you've never played football before, come and try us. If you've never been at United Sports Centre, come and see us. And if you have done both of those, you can continue playing football all the way through Easter at this really great venue. So looking forward to seeing the kids down here. It's always fun. They're always having a good time and learning at the same time. And then on the other side, we've got 3 days allotted for our Elite Development Camp, which is a brand new program actually spearheaded by Paul Hollicher. This is one of his ideas to come in and have a bit more an elite process and skills camp for our under 9s to under 12s. There'll be a section for that, and then also for our over 13s as well. And they'll be running for 3 days on the 17th, 18th and 19th of April, which is in a week or two. $150 for the 3 days. You get some really experienced coaches, some really good coaching tips. So I'm looking forward to seeing both camps running at the same time and just seeing that football run all the way through Easter.
And we touched on it a little bit before, but we've got our academy teams starting their season on the 22nd of April. And then the following week, we've got the pre-academy also starting their season on the 29th of April. Yeah. Which is very exciting for all those kids because they've been waiting a long time to get into those games, as we mentioned before.
They really have, yeah. And I just can't wait to see this place just be really lit up with football on a Saturday. I just love coming down here on Saturday mornings. You have the youngsters under 4s to 8s going to that pre-academy playing games and into our academy as well. So everyone's ready for it. We've got the uniforms ready. Everyone's been training hard, so it's going to be really, really good. And so, of course, yeah, term 2 kicks off pretty quickly as all the leagues start, like Daniel just said. And we've got 2 quite big changes actually happening in 2 of our programs. In our Fanino under 4s to under 8s. So that's actually going to have a time change. We're going to go from starting at 4:30 to finishing at 5:15. They're just going to start a little bit earlier, and they're going to start at 4 p.m. and finish at 5 p.m. Which is great news because it's a bit closer to school finishing times, especially those youngsters who, some of them might be coming from preschool, some of them might be coming from normal school, they've just started school, so they can pop straight over to the United Sports Centre and start at 4 o'clock. But not only that, they actually get 15 more minutes, which is incredible, right? At that age, you get 15 more free minutes on top of what you had at 45. So 4 till 5 p.m. is really good. And then even on Saturday, we're going to extend the 45 minutes to an hour as well. So their games are going to start at 9:30 and finish at 10:30 rather than finishing at 10:15. So if you're only doing one training session and a game, it's an extra 30 minutes per week all the way through the term. So Great news under fours and eights. And on top of that, we're going to be launching a Skill Builders card, which really hones in on, yes, you can play football here at United Sports Centre for an amount of time, but actually when you go home, you can do some football homework. And if you love football so much, you want to learn, you just love the sport, then taking that home with a football in a really small space and having some homework you can bring back and give to your coach, it's quite exciting. And I think it also brings in the parents and the caregivers as well. So actually it's not just player goes away, coach says something, they come back. Actually, the whole family can get involved and play. And these skill cards look really cool. It's actually an actual card which they can take home, they can get a stamp. There's going to be some really cool technology on there as well, where they scan a QR code, goes to our YouTube channel. They can still see the skill actually being done by an academy player, and they get to copy that skill. And I firmly believe that's going to be such a really good extra piece of coaching in a way that's going to accelerate these kids. They're going to get better over time, and it's just going to be really exciting at the same time. So yeah, some good changes coming from under 4s to 8s, starting term 2, which is from Monday the 24th of April. Then on top of that as well, we run a technification program here as well, and that's been running for quite a number of years. It's an extra training piece, isn't it, on a Monday afternoon. Normally it's split into under 9s to under 10s, and then under 11s, under 12s, and they have an hour each. And it's been a great program, and it's good for those more ambitious players at those ages that really want to get in front, have more training with some good coaches. That's also going to have a revamp as well. So not only are we going to extend the time from 1 hour to 1.5 hours, so from 4 p.m. to 5:30, again having more training time and contact time, we're also going to utilise the skills of Cameron Lindsay, who we mentioned before has been signed as a player, experienced player from Wellington. He's also got a lot of experience in coaching as well. Cam's come from a really good school. He's done a lot of school coaching, a lot of academy work, and so he's going to come in and kind of almost lead that program with Paul Holler's kind of guidance, I suppose. And so that form of cohort will just get more contact time, more skill time, a different kind of coaching alongside those skill building cards as well. So for those players that are listening who not even at Christchurch United, because that's open to the community, right? You could be playing at any club in Christchurch, or you're just playing school. If you just want that extra hour and a half on a Monday that's not going to interview with your other coaching, come along, give it a go. We will also include a free training session for those that just want to see what it's like, and then we can look to register you for the rest of the year. So I'm really excited to see where that program is going to go. That's such a nice little step up, I think, from what we've had before, that's just going to get better and better as we go along. We've also had St Thomas School be with us for an entire term. We mentioned this in our launch show that we've partnered up with St Thomas School, which is very close to Christchurch United, and they've been using our facilities within their curriculum on a Monday morning from 9 a.m. to 10 a.m. It's been so successful that they're going to continue in term 2, which is really good, because one of our key kind of moments this year is to get back into the community, work with schools, understand what the schools and the community want that we can offer from a facilities point of view, but not just facilities, the personnel we've got here, the experience, the time. And it's great that we've managed to get St Thomas on board. They're sticking with us. We're obviously doing something right, and they're going to continue in term 2. And I think that relationship's just going to get stronger and stronger as well, right, as we understand and learn from each other. And also, just going back, I forgot that Cameron Lindsay's, I think, also going to be the head coach for their school team for St Thomas as well. So again, we're utilising everything we've got here, and not just having it for Christchurch United, but giving back to schools and community. And I think it's quite a proud moment for us, to be honest.
Yeah, again, like we mentioned in the launch show, it's actually something we haven't done so much in the previous years, and I think it's something good we can get into this year and build upon it for next year and the year after as well. Yeah,
totally agree. And I think what we'll find in term 2 and 3 is we'll be working with more schools and different schools. There's schools that are the primary schools and intermediate schools that we've actually got a really good football in schools program. So we've spoken a lot about bringing schools to United Sports Centre and using our facilities, but actually we can also go into schools as well. So if you are a school in the local area, it can be anywhere in Christchurch, doesn't have to be on our side, on the west of Christchurch. We are more than willing to, again, bring our coaches, come into the school time once a week and actually perform some of this program, which we've done a few years ago, but with lots of reasons like COVID and us just restarting again, we haven't kicked off again. So I think watch this space. We've already been talking to a few schools that are interested, and I think term 2 and 3 we'll be able to do that a bit more, which would be great again for that community and school spirit.
Yeah, and that's all for this month's Christchurch United radio show with Daniel Main and Alistair Macleay. We'll see you guys back here next month here on Plains FM.
Thanks, guys.